Howdy, folks. Did you know that there's over 25 trillion megabytes of information produced and uploaded to the internet every day? That's like 125,000 TikTok videos loaded up. And so obviously the internet is a huge source of information, and some of that is really great information, some of that's really manipulative information, and then most of it is cat videos. And we've got to figure out how we, as citizens of this country and of this world, can kind of filter through that crap to get to something worthwhile and helpful in our lives. So that's what our goal is for this next unit, is to be able to find reliable sources of information and then to assess those strengths and limitations of each source that we find. To do that, we're going to start off with identifying and learning about 5 different criteria that we can use for source evaluation. So I need you to get that through your head. You need to know what these 5 source criteria are, how you can use them, what their definitions are. They're going to be essential. And then the main check you can use for yourself to see, like, am I getting this, is if you can assess an online source. So pick a random website and assess it using the 5 credibility criteria, figuring out, okay, what is this source good at? What is this source limiting? What is limiting this source that I'm found? So let's get to it. First source criteria that we're going to look at is currency. Currency has to do with when. When was something published? Because dates matter when we're talking about information. Is this really current, recent information that was published about something that is relevant, or is this, starting to get pretty old? So, for example, different topics will have different kind of, levels of currency. Education changes really, really slowly. Medical research changes really, really quickly. So something that's 5, 10, or 20 years old may still be relevant in the world of education, but medical research changes almost yearly, sometimes month to month, right? So you have to kind of evaluate my topic and how current is current for my topic, right? So if you're looking at something technology related, 2, 3, 4 years might even start becoming a little bit old. Other things have a little bit more staying power. So that's what currency is. Look at when. Relevance has to do with how are you going to use this information? How closely is this idea connected to my topic or what I'm trying to learn? So what does this source tell me that helps me, or what does this source do that can help me answer my research question? So for example, if I'm researching how climate change has affected Montana farmers, and I find information about how farmers in Madagascar are dealing with climate change, not going to be that relevant, right? Both about climate change, but very different parts and hemispheres of the world. So it would be a stretch to figure out how those two connect. Next one is authority. Authority deals with the person or organization behind the information. So does the author a credible, reliable source? Is the organization a source that we could trust information from? So do these people have an extended education in their topic? Do they have valid work experience? Have they published proven research? Those are going to be really authoritative, worthwhile sources. So for example, I'm a great, reliable source about English concepts, about grammar, about education. That's my area of expertise. Probably don't take investment or economic advice from me. Not an economist, not a financial planner, have no background in it. We should also take a look at where this was published, like what type of source is this? Is this a .gov or .edu? Is this kind of a credible university that's publishing this? Or is this some random dude in his basement who came up with climatefacts.org? Now he's just posting whatever he wants about the idea of climate change, whether he's a climate scientist or not, right? So look at who is publishing this information. Next one is accuracy. Accuracy just has to do with what kind of information is this? Is it reliable, factual information? Does the information check out? Can the facts be confirmed? Are they listing their sources? Do they make verifiable claims? Or is this all just kind of opinion? Another thing to take a look at for accuracy is what perspectives are missing. Because a lot of times sources maybe could cherry pick good, factually correct information, but leave out other factually correct information. And we have to be aware of that as we're looking. So if I was looking at minimum wage, and I bet I could find facts that led me to believe that we should not raise the minimum wage, right? I could find facts that might help me prove that. I also might be able to find facts that would help me prove maybe we should raise the minimum wage. I should be presenting both of those to you, or at least be looking for sources that can help me provide information on both sides of an issue. Last one is purpose, or you could think of this as the perspective that a source has. So this has all to do with the kind of why this information exists. So why was this published? Every piece of information has been put on the internet by someone or some organization for a reason. So we have to figure out what the goal of that is, because that might shape how we need to look at this information that we found. So one thing that always helps is follow the money. Who paid for this to be published? Why are they doing that? Who spent time and money and resources to put together this website or this social media post? What's their goal in this? Was this meant to inform? Was it meant to kind of persuade me of an opinion? Was this meant just to entertain me for the lulz? I don't know. And just because the source has maybe a specific person doesn't necessarily disqualify all the rest of their information. I just need to understand the tendency that this organization or purpose has. If an organization has sort of a democratic or progressive leaning slant, could still be good, so long as I also go out and find that other kind of counter argument from a more conservative or Republican slant. I need to be looking for information from both sides to truly understand like a full scope of an issue. So right now I want you to do a brain dump. If you haven't noticed, I've got a great acronym to help us remember those 5 things. So you need to cut through the crap on the internet, CRAAP. All right, so for a minute or two, I want you to try to define each one of these 5 source criteria. I've given you the first letters, as well as write down what they mean in your own language. All right, did you do it? Did you do the brain dump? I hope you did. Well, you can compare your answers to my answers. And I'll leave you with this last thought is, can we find a source that is going to be perfect in every one of these criteria? Probably not. There's some things that we can bend on, some things that we shouldn't. So like purpose and currency, we could get away with something that's slightly old, or so long as we understand where this bias might be coming from. So is this right leaning or left leaning? Is this trying to support a specific idea? That's okay, so long as we understand and disclose, like, here's where this information came from. Probably shouldn't compromise on relevance, authority, or accuracy. Information needs to be correct. We need to have authoritative subjects, and it needs to be relevant to whatever topic we're talking about. All right, good luck, folks.